Our minds are constantly racing, thought after thought, memory after memory, worry after worry. We live inside this endless stream as though it's the only reality. But you are not your thoughts, you are the space in which those thoughts appear. Freedom begins when you notice this truth. It is not about stopping thoughts but recognizing you are more than them. And yet, so many of us carry these thoughts like heavy stones in a bag, believing we must hold on to each one. The more we think, the more trapped we feel. What if you put the bag down? What if, just for a moment, you gave yourself permission to step outside the storm of your mind? True freedom is not in fighting your thoughts, it is in learning to rest in the space beyond them. Our minds are constantly racing, thought after thought, memory after memory, worry after worry. We live inside this endless stream as though it's the only reality. But you are not your thoughts, you are the space in which those thoughts appear. Freedom begins when you notice this truth. It is not about stopping thoughts but recognizing you are more than them. And yet, so many of us carry these thoughts like heavy stones in a bag, believing we must hold on to each one. The more we think, the more trapped we feel. What if you put the bag down? What if, just for a moment, you gave yourself permission to step outside the storm of your mind? True freedom is not in fighting your thoughts, it is in learning to rest in the space beyond them. We often identify with our thoughts. I am my fears, my failures, my past. But thoughts are just passing clouds, they don't define the vast sky of who you are. The real you is timeless, watching, aware. The moment you realize this, you step out of the prison of mind and into infinite space. The identity you've built around your thoughts is like a costume, it feels real, but it can always be taken off. Beneath it, your soul remains untouched, radiant, whole. You are not the voice in your head. You are the awareness that hears it. That realization alone begins to loosen the chains. When you no longer confuse yourself with your mind, you find your true freedom. Long ago, a young monk asked his teacher, "Master, how do I find freedom from my restless mind?" The master took him to a river. The water was turbulent. The master said, "This is your mind when you cling to thoughts." Then they waited. Slowly, the water grew still, and the reflection of the moon appeared. "This is your mind when you rest in the silence between thoughts," the master whispered. The boy finally understood, freedom wasn't in controlling the river but in waiting for the stillness within it. The river taught him more than words ever could. For the first time, he saw how peace reveals itself when nothing is forced. In the stillness, the moon was always there, it only needed the water to be calm enough to reflect it. Just like the soul, it is always present, waiting for us to notice. This story is a reminder, stillness doesn't come from control, but from surrender. Silence is not empty. It is alive, full of wisdom, clarity, and presence. When you enter the gap between thoughts, you meet your true self. Silence becomes your greatest teacher, one that speaks without words. It carries no agenda, no noise, no judgment. And yet, in its stillness, it reveals everything you need to know. Silence holds the answers you've been seeking in books, in people, in endless searching. To sit with silence is to sit with the deepest truths of your being. The more you listen to silence, the more it speaks in ways the mind never could. Your breath is a bridge into the space between thoughts. When the mind races, come back to the breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. With every breath, you return to now. Breath dissolves thought and reveals presence. Notice how the breath asks nothing of you. It rises, it falls, it moves with ease. In the rhythm of your breathing, you discover the rhythm of the universe. Each inhale is life entering, each exhale is life letting go. Breath brings you home to the silence inside. Breath is life's reminder that freedom is already flowing within you. We try to control every thought, every outcome, every moment. But freedom is found in letting go, in trusting life as it unfolds. The more you release control, the more spaciousness you discover. You realize that peace was never outside of you, it was hidden in the stillness all along. Control is an illusion of the mind. The tighter we grip, the more life slips away. Letting go doesn't mean giving up, it means opening yourself to flow, to trust, to the natural unfolding of things. When you release the need to control, you create room for grace to enter. In the letting go, you are no longer trapped, you are free. A painter once tried to capture freedom on his canvas. He painted landscapes, skies, oceans, but none felt complete. Frustrated, he left the canvas blank. Later, his student asked, "Why did you leave it empty?" The painter smiled, "Because freedom is found in the space, not in the form." That empty canvas spoke more than any painting could. In that moment, the student realized the greatest art wasn't in what was drawn, but in what was left unspoken. Sometimes the most powerful truths are revealed in the silence between words, just as the deepest freedom is revealed in the space between thoughts. The student carried this lesson forever: the beauty of silence is eternal. Freedom is not far away. It is not a destination. It is in the simple pauses of your day. In the silence after laughter. In the breath before speaking. In the space between thoughts. When you notice it, you realize, you've been free all along. Every pause is a doorway. Every gap is a chance to return. The more you practice living in the silence, the more it becomes your natural state. You no longer wait for peace, you live in it. And this transforms everything: your relationships, your choices, your way of being. When you learn to rest in this space, life itself feels lighter, clearer, freer. The space between thoughts is a return to presence. Here, you are whole, complete, infinite. In this silence, you discover that freedom isn't something to find, it is something you already are. Let every moment remind you, between thoughts, you are free. Presence is not something you chase, it is something you fall back into. Each time you come back, you see more clearly that the present is all there is. And in this present, you are enough. In this silence, you are free. This is the gift of awareness, the reminder that your freedom is always within reach.